we had a good week. Horses are going well. The weather has been really, really nice, and getting organized in the farm here, so that's going really well. The new horse is completely adorable. Dior is his name. He is coming 5, and he ended up having an abscess in his neck from an injection that they gave along the way. So he had a little bit of a break because of that. But he's getting back to work now, and he's super, super fun to work with. Very smart and athletic, very good hind legs. And actually, Peyton gets to ride him right now, so it's going great. He's adorable. Fits right in with the rest of the crew. Very, very cute. Thank you for asking. So I did not get a goal from Peyton, but I got last week's homework from Peyton. And I got from Meg as well. So we'll go over those two things. And I just wanted to go over these pictures again, just quickly, because I think it's interesting when you start to think about the decisions that are going to hone you in on your special goal. And here's in a really big way, if you're talking about dressage and you're talking about representing your country on a team, if you're talking about the football, you're trying to go to the Super Bowl. And as you narrow it down, people by people that really want to commit to that big job, and then the ones that are possibly falling to the wayside. And what is really interesting is that you can play football or you can ride dressage on a very, very high level and be very good at it and still not be on the team in the Olympics or go to the Super Bowl. And as we talk about goals and decision making, I think we need to get our own values and our own life and quality of life start to have an idea of what values are going to push our decisions. What if you think about what does the quality of your life look like? What things, somebody had said in a speech that I watched a while back, what would you give up? What would you give up to achieve those goals? And I guess that my question would be more, what wouldn't you give up? So as you start to make these decisions toward your riding goals, what kind of things do you still want incorporated in your life that are really non-negotiable? What things are non-negotiable? I think as I'm looking at riding, the way I ride, the way I train my horses, and then the way that I start to make decisions for my own life, I think when you're talking all the time about taking things away or coming from that point of view of what would you give up, it's a negative. When I ride, I try hard not to be behind my horse. I try hard not to be saying, no, 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 don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. As a rider, I want to be giving positive aids. Please do this now. And that language needs to be understood. So that's part of the training process. And then I want to be able to be ahead enough in my thinking and my planning that I can say that I want to make shoulder in now and not have to say, don't come off the track now because I'm asking for shoulder in. But instead, I want that positive way of looking at it. In the same way as I'm making my goals, what does the rest of my life look like? What kind of things do I want to hold on to as I am going after my riding goals? So one big one that comes into my mind is health. And I think that oftentimes you'll see people give up very important aspects of their health in order to achieve certain goals. And yet, if you don't make your health a big part of your everyday, for sure you're not going to achieve your goals. But people get so mixed up and in the busyness of trying to do those things that you think are necessary to achieve the goal, you don't do those things that are really going to make it so much easier on so many levels. So if we pay attention to our health, that brings us more energy. It's going to give us more stamina. It's going to keep our thinking clearer, our decision-making process. If we're able to keep our energy up in the day, sometimes things happen. And if we're in a low energy, we might get depressed by those things. We might not make the decisions that we need to make at that time. We might postpone it to another time. Or we might give up on it altogether. And then the next day and the next day start going down the hill. So for me, health is a really big thing. And when you're talking about, or when I'm talking about achieving my personal riding goals, health is actually going to be right along there, right alongside those riding goals. And I really want to be careful not to make a choice to put my riding above my health, or to think about my goals so that I make correct decisions about my health. It can work that way as well. So should I jump on that horse right now because I really need to, or should I grab some water so that I ride better? And the two things, then they overlap. And I'm not going to be willing to give up on my health at any time. I'm not going to use my going to the Olympics or whatever my goals are in my riding. I'm not going to be able to use that as an excuse not to take time for my own personal health, whether that's some fitness, whether that's my diet, whether it's getting enough sleep, whatever it is. If I feel like I'm burning the candle at two ends, or I am getting overwhelmed, I need to stop and get that health side. Even if I do have to stop for a minute, for a day, for an afternoon, get that health side back in order, and then continue on my journey of my riding. Another thing that there's just so many considerations as you look at this, narrowing it down. You can have everything you want. You just need to be willing to plot out that path on the way. So do I want a husband, or do I want to get my riding to a certain point before I entertain the possibility of a real long-term relationship like that? Do I want to go to college and study and then ride alongside the college and then be able to accelerate my riding after college? Or do I want to actually ride with more of a priority and then do college alongside of that, but maybe take a couple more years to get it done? These kind of things. You don't need to say, I'm giving up college so I can ride. And you don't need to say, I'm giving up riding so I can do college. I'm not giving up my health so I can ride. I actually need my health in order to be able to ride really well. So for me, the decisions that these people are making are really up-level decisions that are not only making it possible for them to move to the next level of their sport, but they're also moving themselves to the next level of that quality person that they need to be to stand in the shoes of a person that is riding at the level that they want to ride at. So again, we kind of run back to creating that person that you need to be every day in order to face those goals. So I think that there are urgent questions that you're going to need to ask yourself, and then they're more long-term. And for me, always writing down and journaling every day is going to help solidify those things. So if you're thinking about in your life what things are important, lifestyle, money, the spirituality, your friendships and partnerships, these kind of things, learning, all these kind of things, and you are going to say, at what level do those things need to be? Where do they need to be on a daily basis? Where do they need to be on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, and on a yearly basis to go alongside, and you feel like you're really living that lifestyle that you want, that's going to make you the rounded, comfortable, feeling like you're getting your fulfillment from your riding without losing these things that are also really important to you. Now, if you talk about giving stuff up, there may be definitely some things that you need to give up while you're going up that ladder. And those things could be that you don't give them up permanently, but they could be things that are less necessary for your progress. Things like maybe eating food that you really enjoy, but it's not really healthy for you, or staying up all night with your friends and not getting your sleep. These things, maybe you would make appointments for things like that, and you say, okay, well, if I'm really going to get where I want to go, once a month I can give myself that freedom to eat a pizza or a half gallon of ice cream, or whatever it is that makes you happy for a minute and feel like you're spoiling yourself, but then you're going to get yourself right back on track. We can't eliminate ice cream from our diet totally, but do we need to eat it every day? So the people that might be interested in dressage and interested in watching dressage and spectator types, they can eat ice cream every day, and it's not going to impact what they're getting out of or giving to the sport. But that the people that are at the top level are probably monitoring their intake of sugar and these kind of things. So you might not have to, if you say, what do I not want to give up, but how can I do it in moderation? And then if I'm really living in an up level way, how can I moderate that a little bit more? How important is it to me? How do I really enjoy that freedom? Is that a celebration thing that after I reached one of my goals or made one of those stepping stones, do I use it as a celebration? And then that might happen in a more of a planned way. And you can wrap your head around not feeling like you can never have it or never do it, but also that you're not just gonna splurge every day and take your health down or take your productivity down. So just something that we didn't talk about last week that I think is interesting about these pyramids.